Tell me where your legacy be. Yeah.
Welcome to the Week 2 Postgame show. As usual, I'm your host, Greg Horne. We had some really good games. Week 2 kind of brought us back to life in the Legacy Leagues from, not the best Week 1. We had a few good games, but the Week 2 was we had some bangers. So before I get into that, I just want to welcome Alyssa and Ben on the show. Alyssa and Ben, we got 2 new interns. We have a lot of them. Alyssa, how we feeling?
I'm excited to be on here and hear some ball talk.
Hell yeah, 100%. And Ben, how are we feeling over there?
Doing good. Obviously in week 2, and really glad to talk some ball and glad to be on.
Hell yeah. I mean, beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. And, speaking of ball, we'll kind of get right into it. The Street Ballers, that didn't really work, but the Street Ballers took down More Power 66-61. And this was a great first game. It went to overtime. It was very back and forth, and I think in the end, Street Ballers just had a little more experience, a little more, kind of know what it takes to win. And I think this was a good lesson for More Power. I think they're going to bounce back from this. They looked really good. Nate Otero was playing phenomenal with 21 and 6. I mean, he did his thing out there. Jake McKenzie. I mean, More Power, I think, had the number 1 play on this top plays, too, this week. So they were kind of doing it all out there. And I love what I saw from those guys. And just keep your head up, boys. You guys will be back and, 100%. But for the Street Ballers, that's what the Street Ballers do. Jovito Acosta is one of the most underrated players in this league. Continues to be. He's a weapon. He's a threat, and he's filthy. And those Street Ballers do their thing. But these guys saw the game. So, I'll go to Alyssa, and then we'll go to Ben. What did you see in this one from Street and More?
From the Street Ballers, especially, they only had 5 people on their team last night. Like, only 5 people showed up, so they didn't have any subs or anything. And it was really cool to see them push through and still win after having to play the entire game themselves. Even one of the players, I'm not sure which one, I'm so sorry, but they fell down, they got hurt, but they got back up, and they still kept playing, and they had no subs, so they couldn't go sit down, and still pushed through and won, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's what the Street Ballers do. That's a great way to put it. They're just a gritty team. They grind it out. They'll fight through anything, and they're a team you never really want to face because they're going to give you their 150% every single time. But Ben, what did we see over here, man? What did we see?
Fortunate enough to do the statistics on this game, and fortunate enough the first 2 weeks I've been having really good first 2 games of statistics, so I've been really happy about that. In terms of this overall game, Street Ballers did come up a little bit more against More Power, but More Power did show a lot of fight. I mean, this wasn't a specific game I look at and say that the Street Ballers are just a much better team. It pretty much was right down the wire. Even when, I forgot, I think it was Street Ballers, but it went to overtime, but they had a 6-point lead. Right under a minute left, and then there was turnovers back and forth. So basically, you just kind of can show in terms of the way both teams are fighting out there. Like you mentioned, Greg, Street Ballers headlined by Acosta with 34 points, 5 threes of 10, so 50% from behind the arc. You can't really get much better than that. And then obviously, Valentine, I saw Benji with a lot of great assists, essentially, especially off of inbound passes. Essentially, basically playing right off fast pace as well, too. And then obviously More Power, Otero obviously did well, but only 21 points. That's only one guy specifically on 20 plus. So if you're More Power, hopefully by next week you'll be able to hopefully get them more out of the 20 plus range. But they obviously did put up a good fight.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's well said from both of you, and I think Ben, you brought up a good point. This is a good step in the right direction for both of these teams. They can come away from this game, and they can really just take a lot from this game and see what they can do in the next few weeks. And, obviously we have the holiday break coming up, but then, let's see, Mo Power has NLMB and Street Ballers play Lux Gang these next, and, NLMB, obviously they added a big guy and we're going to get to that next, but, it's step in the right direction for both these teams. Street Ballers, like I said, they're coming, and watch out for Jovito Acosta, man. He is a problem. But we're going to get into the next game. And speaking of NLMB came in and they welcomed BTFO to the league, 82-55. BTFO came in for week 1, and they played great. They started off with a dub, beat Lux Gang, and then they met NLMB. NLMB, who's been in the league for a while, always a great team, led by Dante and Christian and the boys. Alex, obviously. And then they brought in a guy, Rocco Swenson, who went absolutely crazy. This guy is I mean, he's a problem. He's going to be a problem for a lot of teams in this league. He had 25 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. Dante Hodge, he had an off night from 3, 2 for 10, but he did his thing. The fact that Dante wasn't even going, and this team NLMB is trending in the right direction, and they look scary. They look like they have weapons all around. They have some incredibly good role players. They got a star in Rocco and Dante. They got Tarek over from Get Money. I love what I see from NLMB. They're rising up the power rankings. But for BTFO, they just got to keep pushing. This was a good learning lesson for this team. Maybe cherry pick a little more. What did they take? They took 28 threes. They're taking a lot of threes, which is good, but the threes just weren't really falling in this game. And, they'll start to figure out this league and kind of, see what they can do, in the future. But, for BTFO, keep your head up and just keep pushing. It's not going to be easy every week, especially when you play an NLMB team who's been in this league for about 3-4 seasons now, and then they add a new guy who's just an absolute monster. So NLMB I'm telling you, they're coming. And for BTFO, head up. Speaking of head up, we're going to have to talk about Lux Gang and this game. Run TMC came in. Run TMC out of nowhere. I look to my left, look to my right, and I see Eric Langston showing up. And Eric Langston's a part of Run TMC now, apparently. And they didn't even really need him because they got Joe Carter, who had 25 and 4. 25 and 10. Reggie, Quan, Pratt. Look, I'm going to let these guys take it from this game because I've talked about all the guys on Run TMC for so long now. So, Alyssa, I'll go to you. What'd you see in Run TMC Lux game?
They had just great teamwork, honestly. They set each other up for success, and they're also really funny. They celebrate a lot, and I think that's really cool. Hyping up your teammates and also hyping up yourself as well. I think, Joseph Carter, he was off the charts. And a lot of dunks in that game as well. Those are really cool to see.
Yeah, no, a lot of dunks. And you're right. Shout out to Devon Pratt. That is led by Devon Pratt. He's number 24. He makes the game fun. There is guys, and Eric Langston, the guy I brought up, those two on the court. Wait till you guys see them play Syndicate. Mike Davis, number 50 on Syndicate. He'll probably get his own jersey soon. But Devon Pratt, Dave Armstrong, and Langston, all these guys, they play basketball their entire lives. They play basketball in high school and all this. And they've, been teaming in legacy leagues for a while. And they all kind of, are on different teams now for whatever. And they just have fun playing the game. Pratt and E especially. They're the reason that legacy is what it is. They make legacy what it is. And it's just so much fun to see when Pratt and Eric and these guys and Reggie and Quan and all those guys are smiling, just having fun out there. There really is nothing like it, and that's why Run TMC looks like maybe they're the best team in the league right now. But Ben, what did we see from Run TMC Lux game?
Yeah, this was obviously the second game I did do the scoreboard, and Run TMC I think is going to be a team specifically that at least I can see definitely being a strong contender to win the whole thing. Now, granted, it's only the second week of the overall season, but you kind of take a look at you're talking about, Greg. It seems like a team that has a lot of veteran leadership, and looking at the box score, they had 5 guys specifically in double figures. That's obviously specifically a really good sign. Kind of looking at the overall team when you have 5 guys, and you didn't even mention about Eric, who had 8 points. Basically, somebody that we didn't know about until right before tip-off, so he even pitched in for a little bit as well, too. And then they, as a team specifically, they were over 60% from the field. That's pretty good, granted, when you're doing that. Yes, granted as well, too, Lux Gain did miss a lot of shots that obviously turned into either a steal, for another basket, or just, they didn't get back specifically on defense. But still, that's still really impressive. Lux Gain, yes, they obviously had a lot of good things going for them, but the problem is they just don't have a lot of scoring, I think. I think they really need to have a more scoring, top to bottom. They had Hakeem Trueheart with 28 and Rico Santiago with 28. So 2 guys specifically with 28 points, and a lot of times specifically you should be able to win with 2 guys with 28 points. The problem was they didn't have anybody specifically beyond 15 plus the rest of the way. So that's pretty much kind of the way I saw it. Rum TMC just had a lot more balance, and they're going to be a team specifically to watch down the road.
Yeah, no, well said. Yeah, no, Run TMC is the deepest team in the league probably. one of the deepest, and run TMC. It showed. That's definitely something that separated. I want to give Lux Gang some love. Lux Gang fought. They played really well in this game. They're still trying to find their groove. They only had about 4 or 5 guys each game last season, so now they have a full team. They added Rico, who had a great game, Hakeem. This team's going to be fine. They're going to be a team that's peaking late, and I can see it already. They'll have a big win later on in the season, and they're going to be going to the playoffs in the right direction. So Lux Gang just needs to keep their head up, because I really love Hakeem Trueheart. I think Hakeem Trueheart is a very underrated player in this league. He's phenomenal. You know how I feel about Rico. He's an incredible player. And then they got other guys on that team, but they're just figuring it out. They're getting their feet wet, and they're going to be coming. So Lux Gang will be good. And TMC's TMC. But, we'll get on to the next game, which was probably the game of the night, and that is Get Money Syndicate. And look at GM Alex Rivera over there, 2-0 after he's coming in his 4th season, coming in senior year, and he's doing his thing. It's no senioritis over here, but you got to give him credit. Mike Davis, the GOAT, was brought back to Legacy Leagues, and Mike Davis, 88% from the field, 80% from 3. He had 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And one of the things that makes a great Legacy Leagues player over history, for instance, a Reggie or a Mike or a Matt Fink or one of these guys, is their free throw percentage. And Mike Davis is someone who, he just doesn't miss free throws. He was 7 of 8 from the free throw line. He takes big shots. He makes big shots. There's a reason Mike Davis has 6 championships on the back of his jersey. He's the best player we've ever seen in this league. The way he just has ice in his veins, he can kind of do anything from the mid-range to the three-point line. He can put you on a poster. And, with this Syndicate team, he can take them to the moon if he wants to, because Jaquan Bromell is maybe the most dynamic player we have in this league. Jason Hernandez is having an incredible year as a veteran. Mikey Fuller, Eric Ford, Jason Velez. You even got Sexy Lex. You got EJ Linton, who wasn't even there. Randy also, who wasn't even there, the Red Dragon. This Syndicate team is one of the deepest teams in this league. And, again, when you got Mike Davis by your side, there's really nothing else that you have to really say. And then on the other end, shout out KD, man. One of the interns looked at me halfway through the game, and he goes, man, number 4 is a bucket. And number 4 is indeed a bucket. I said it last season. I'll say it again. Kyle Davis is the best offensive player we've ever had in this league. He is just incredible. The way he can get to his spots, and he has a lot of them, and find a bucket is just incredible. He kept Get Money in this game. Jake Morales had a phenomenal game as well. I want to give him some love. He played probably his best game I've ever seen him ever play in Legacy Leagues. I know he's had some good games, but this was in a big game against a lot of people that, he's family with or he's played with, and he did his damn thing. So I got to give Jake Morales a lot of love. And I think for this Get Money team, look, no Tysheem. You guys will get to know Tysheem McCray soon. Tysheem McCray is a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. He won Defensive Player of the Year, I believe, summer 24 and winter 25. So he won Defensive Player of the Year very recently, and he is just an incredible player. So I hope he's coming. Chad McCoy as well. Look, for Get Money, this was a close game. It came down to free throws at the end. This was a very, very close game going back and forth. And, the last few minutes came down to free throws. And Get Money missed a few free throws. And Mike Davis, this is a good example of being a veteran in this league. And Mike Davis, it was about, I want to say, 15 seconds left. And Syndicate's down by 3. And, most people in this league would have gone for, hunt for a three-point shot. Mike Davis takes it right to the hole, gets the quick 2. They foul. They miss a free throw. And Mike Davis goes for the win, and then he hits the game-winning layup. And I know we're doing a lot of Mike Davis talk right now, but it's just, he played when I was an intern, and he's still playing now, and he's still winning. So it's just got to give Mike some love. But it was the Davis off, because I also got to give KD some love. And Tyron McCray, he's gonna have a breakout game this year, and I pray for whoever's got to deal with Tyron McCray when he has a breakout game, because he's going to go for 40 on someone, because he's coming back from an Achilles injury he had a bunch of seasons ago, and I know he's going to start getting his legs back. But Get Money, I said it for all these teams. This is a big theme this week. Keep your head up. Keep pushing. Get Money's going to be fine. They always peak late in the year. And for the Syndicate, man, I tip my hat to Alex Rivera. I tip my hat to these boys. Syndicate, you did a hell of a job, and you got a huge win, and I'm proud of y'all. Hey, that was a good holiday post-game show. I appreciate, Alyssa, Ben. I hope you guys have a great holidays. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa. I don't know if I'm missing anyone. If I am, I don't know. I don't think I can think of anyone. So, if Swahili, no, I think that's a language. But anyways, it has been a pleasure with you two. It has been a pleasure doing Legacy these first 2 weeks, and we got a little break for the holidays and the new year. Wish everyone a happy holidays and a happy new year, but it has been a pleasure as always.